Who was the most intimidating judge? Amir.
For me, by far, it's Tamer.
It's Tamer, for sure.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
This is Womentum, a startup accelerator like no other for the best boss ladies in the Middle East. Womena. Did you hear that? Startups, boss ladies, Middle East. Womena. At the end of the day, I'm an investor, and this is a business decision.
I think that for a lot of founders, it can be very intimidating to be talking to VCs because they are like these investment gods who sit in the clouds and give money to people they choose. But the reality is that if you understand that VCs are like your customer, they have their own objectives, they need to see a certain rate of return on their investment. So I think understanding that dynamic helped them to be able to be very strategic in terms of how they pitch to VCs.
My name is Amir Farha. I'm one of the founders of Beco Capital. We are an early stage venture capital firm based in Dubai. We have about 28 companies. Some of them are really exciting ones like Kareem and Property Finder. And the idea of joining or helping Womentum is to help look at these companies that are coming out of the accelerator to see if they have what it takes to actually build something exciting for the region.
What are the red flags? What are the things that can blow up a first meeting or that really put you off investing in a company?
I think when we see co-founders, we generally spend time trying to understand the dynamic between the co-founders. 80% of our decision, 70% of our decision is on the people. So for me personally, I think it's just about people. I think it's finding these underdogs who want to, challenge the status quo or challenge these large incumbents that are dinosaurs. And I think the more we have of these underdogs, the more exciting it is.
Beco Capital are one of the biggest VCs in the region. So all of these startups are really going to want to sit in front of Beco at some point. And we're hoping that that adds an extra amount of pressure on these startups to really perform.
What will it take for you to invest in one of our startups?
If you have a really clear vision and depth of thought around the problem you're solving, be able to communicate what you're trying to do very clearly, it's one thing. I think if you're targeting a big opportunity, just big, doesn't have to be a huge number, just something that's big. And if we have good chemistry, we get along, that's a starting point. I don't know if we'd invest in that thing, but yeah.
For the VC Challenge, we've brought in Tamer and Sammy, who have already met the startups in some capacity. Tamer's been a mentor and Sammy's been my advisor, but this time they're both putting on their VC hats and looking at the startups as if they were going to be investing.
Tamer Aizer. I'm a principal at S2E8 Ventures. We're hoping that the VC Challenge gives them a sense of what it's going to be like to be on the hot seat in a conversation with an investor. We want to really push them a little bit, show them that it's sometimes going to be uncomfortable and sometimes you really, really have to defend what you're doing.
My name is Sami Karabi. I am the founder and CEO of Incubate Investments. So when I'm there providing insights or feedback on their company, I always take my own information with a grain of salt, because if it's a good founder, they know their business incredibly well. They will take input and ideas, they will deliver on them, but at the end of the day, they should also stand strong to their beliefs and delivering the business model as they envision it.
So we go with questions along the lines of strategy and vision. Those are the main things we do, especially early on in the business, and how they look at building these companies. And based on that, we'll make a call as to whether we believe that they have what it takes to answer these problems.
The ecosystem in the Middle East is so small. So I need other VCs to be impressed and to want to put money in, or it just doesn't make sense for me.
So we're raising $450,000. Our goal is by end of 2020 to have around 25,000 users which is around 10% of the total market that we've assessed for the region.
So how big is the business at 10% of the market?
The revenue will be $350,000 calculated from the 10% of the market.
So 100% is 3.5 million. So that's your total addressable market is a $3.5 million market, or am I getting something wrong here?
We calculate 2 million athletes that potentially could use this.
That only means around like $1.20 per athlete or something, right? Or $1.50 per athlete. Is that?
Maybe walk us.
Yeah, walk us through the economics.
Walk us through how you make money.
The subscription, just charging athletes $250 a year to use the services.
But I guess the numbers, just to be clear, you're saying 2 million and you charge $250. You're targeting 2 million, so your market size is like 500 million. If my math makes sense, right? So just point for. I think if you can't come up with a thoughtful way to articulate the market size, it shows investors that you don't really know who you're targeting.
I think being an athlete, she doesn't have a business background, so the heavy financial modeling and the metrics is really challenging for her. This is something which is really a point of stress.
I mean, we knew how many the total addressable market in terms of numbers of users, but we didn't convert it to a dollar value. And their math is super fast, so they were throwing this number that we didn't think that fast, but we obviously had the number of just understanding market size means the users times how much you're charging users.
Hello, Shaka.
Hello.
The purpose of the session is to understand how much money you want to raise and what you want to do with that money. So can you jump right into it and tell us, how much money you're looking to raise?
Yes, we will ask for $1.5 million for our Series A round, $1 million for extending in KSA by the third quarter of 2020.
I think you're cash flow positive, right? You're breaking even. Why would you not take the funds you have that you want to raise and just own Egypt? So much so that no competition can come and attack you.
We are data-driven. So we have been studying the Saudi market since December 2018. The base data we had, the customer behavior, the amount of money needed, it lies in case A, that's our pilot.
If you screw up Saudi and you go out to raise again, you'll have a much harder time getting money than if you just took that and owned all of Egypt. Most founders fall into this trap of trying to run before they can walk. And most founders, when they try and scale too fast, they tend to find themselves screwing up the magic that they started with in the first place.
I think it's very important for people to understand how much effort it takes to enter a new market.
They're so hell-bent on immediately expanding into Saudi Arabia. Every mentor and every investor is questioning that decision.
The moment when Amir started asking the same question over and over again, why not stay in Egypt?
Why would you not take the funds you have and just own Egypt? How do you think you can capture that market? What can you do to grow your market share? There's a huge risk of going into Saudi. Own Egypt.
And over and over again. So that was like, okay, something is not being said, and I'm really trying to figure out what is the one thing I need to say just to make it stop. I mean, to make it clear. But I hope we made it clear by the end.
Stay in Egypt, man.
You said you've decided to pivot to education.
We realized that there was a huge opportunity in a sector that is growing super fast now, which is called educational gaming, and it's growing at 37% yearly. And it fits completely with the way people have been using our products.
They came out of the sort of remote period with a very clear understanding of who their target audience was.
What I love about MakerBrain is that these two founders live and breathe their startup. They're definitely up there for me.
So what we're looking to raise is $550,000.
How much of the market are you going to penetrate with that? I mean, is that enough? Is that too much? Can you do more with more money?
Yes, we can
do more.
I think now that we're introducing our tech platform more aggressively, it's going to like help us move much quicker and make our operations much more efficient.
And is anyone doing something similar to you now?
So for the fresh fruits and vegetables, we're the only ones in the region that do the whole chain from farm to businesses.
How many vendors are there in Egypt?
There are 30,000.
In Cairo, 30,000.
30,000. You think you can get to what, the whole 30,000 on your platform?
We're aiming to get to 6,500 by 2023. Yeah.
How many sales reps would that take?
That would take around 50 sales reps.
And what's the average annual cost of a sales rep?
3,000.
3,000.
Yeah.
$3,000 in sales rep.
I think we could see from all of them how big they saw the market, which is what we see as well. So I was happy to see that.
Honestly, they're a very exciting company. Now that they have added technology into their business, they are definitely a front runner.
At this stage, we kind of know Tamer, so I don't find him intimidated anymore because it was, he wears cartoon t-shirts and, he's probably half my height. So he's not intimidating. Sammy's too well dressed to be intimidating, in my opinion. So it has to be probably Amir from Beco Capital, given they're such a big player in the region.
How much capital do you want to raise and what do you want to use that capital for? So I'll leave the mic to you guys to let us know what you're looking for.
We're in quite a unique situation at the moment, and we decided actually we're not going to raise at this time.
Two people creating cash flow positive business. You guys don't think you need capital. If you were to scale and add a sales force and be able to present what you guys have built so successfully to more people more quickly, do you not think that you can create more value than what you're doing now?
Actually, one point, we know that we have to raise. And now there are a couple of contracts, so we want to increase the valuation than raising the money.
Making the decision that you don't actually need to raise money is in and of itself a very important decision. Not every startup is a VC startup. Not every company can or wants to raise VC money or even should.
Yeah, I feel like it's just been a bit of a waste of our resources, to be honest, for me, if that's the path they're going down. And they should have thought about that before joining the program, to be honest.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Who was the most intimidating judge? Amir.
For me, by far, it's Tamer. In general, he was always smiling, he was always kind, and with each other, he was a little bit tough.
Yeah, he was looking to us like this.
Yeah.
They're all intimidating if it's in the sense of they're successful people who are extremely smart and that we look up to.
For me, surprisingly, it's Tamer, for sure.
Yeah, same. Maybe because he knew already in the business, so he had the more piercing questions.
He has this look and he's very tall and intimidating, looking at us and asking questions because I try to read him. It's very intimidating.
Do you think you're intimidating?
I don't know. You have to ask the founders that I invest in. I think it's maybe a hard exterior, soft interior.
I think that the VC challenge, even though it was quite intense, and I think people were very nervous ahead of time, and some people felt they didn't do well at the end. But I think it's a really good exercise for them to get used to being able to very quickly defend their numbers, answer questions confidently, and if they can do this in the setting where they had no computer, no notebook, and had to just do it from memory, they will do it easily in an actual meeting.
I recognize the irony in having accelerating equality over a couch of men. But the truth is that the ecosystem really looks like that. A majority of VCs around the world are men. Ergo, Womena. We're here to change that.